Liquid answers back to Dignitas' call here as they tie up the series 1-1, and we're going to a game number 3. It's going to be interesting to see if Team Liquid and Dignitas continue to have this battle, because game number 2 felt much more closer. The calls from Team Liquid seem to be a little bit more confident.
I was worried after the first map. It didn't feel like Team Liquid. It didn't smell like Team Liquid. It wasn't really the Team Liquid that we knew. So I was really worried that at some point Dignitas just said, you know what? 3-0 sounds good to us, and that we would see a bit of a stomp and Team Liquid fall back into the slump. But that was way more what we expected going into the series. Loved it, and we have our third map, so I'm ready.
Well, we have a replay, apparently, from Kothan down there. Go ahead and tell us what you were seeing during that match.
Okay, well, during the last game, we didn't have a lot of huge all-out brawls. We did have one play I'd like to highlight as a big turning point in the game, and also to highlight the kind of difficult snap-second decisions you have to make in these sort of competitive environments. So look at the Arthas up top here. He's on the temple, and he gets hard committed on here. So he's popped ghouls here, and he has about 20% health when he pops ghouls. Malfurion, he could have chosen to run up and use his silence semi-defensively to stop the damage on the Arthas and maybe allow the Arthas to try to heal up with the ghouls and going back. That sort of snap-second decision are the ones that are the most difficult to make in this game. He chooses to hold on to silence in favor of getting a better team fight. However, that causes the Arthas to die, which then causes the boss to be taken uncontested. And then they have a temple and a boss to worry about for the next minute, and they never get a chance to really take advantage of the fact that they held on to Twilight Dream there anyway. So choosing to hold on to that ended up being a big turning point in the game, where perhaps the Arthas could have been saved, maybe, maybe not. But not saving him caused the game to kind of slip out of their control right there.
Well, going to game number 3 is figure out which battleground we're going to. What will our teams want to play on? It's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Team Liquid will have the map choice, which means that Dignitas has taken first pick.
I like it.
I like it.
It's a cool map. It's very aggressive. It's a map where we've seen a variety of different strategies. I'm a little bit afraid that we're going to see another Nazeebo here. I don't want that. I want to have the early aggression. I want them going toe-to-toe in the early game already. But Tomb was always a fun map with a lot of different strategies floating around.
I feel like Team Liquid won't go into Nazeebo so early like they did in game number 1. They have to hold on to the 4th or 5th pick, simply because Dignitas has shown they're willing to be aggressive, they're willing to lock down. And secondly, this is Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is where we see Stitches picked up very often from Dignitas.
I kind of expect a ban here.
Yeah, I would expect one too. It's been happening twice now in a row against Dig on this battleground.
Several times, not only against Dig. Stitches after the Western Clash made a resurgence in Europe. We've seen it played by Fnatic, by also Team Liquid, and by Dignitas. So there's a good chance that Stitches either sees a ban or an early pick, maybe even by Team Liquid. So that has to be one of the things floating on the players' minds right now.
It'll be interesting to see which sort of comp Dignitas commits to here. All 6 games in these playoffs, they've gone for comps that want to pressure early game and ride an advantage. However, the 2 times they've gone for Zagara and push-oriented early game builds, they've ended up losing the game. So they've shown to be much more effective on comps that focus on aggression in the form of kills than in the form of pushing.
And the aggression is what is being banned out in the form of Genji, and that comes back to what we've been talking about yesterday. Genji has risen in priority massively in every scrim that I've watched so far, and from last week to this week, well, last week it was a late pick, it got an early pick this week, and it even goes to the point where you ban him out super early in the draft on certain maps. The mobility that he has with Cyber Agility as a level 1 talent allows him to jump lanes so fast that right here it's a great ban for them. And Chromie, a lot of respect here for Chromie, especially on the side of Mena, but that leaves our playmaker open. First priority though is Greymane.
Greymane being picked up, but Chromie being banned out, and we've seen it. Every time she has an opening in the early game, she can be crushing.
Yeah.
Mena in particular on Dragonshire, honestly shut down Tyrael very effectively with the aid of his teammates, constantly following up with that Dragon's Eye, making sure to bring the Sandblast afterwards and burning down opposing teams. This could also be an indicator that maybe we do see that Nazeebo you were talking about earlier. They want to have heroes that aren't so strong in the early game, and with Chromie being one of those heroes that just dominates if she hits her buttons right, Nazeebo suddenly is a harder time.
That's a good point. That ban could be leading towards a late Nazeebo pick. In general, Liquid may have picked up on the fact that Dignitas has been way more effective with their kill-oriented burst comps than their push-oriented comps, and just looking to perhaps take away Mene's burst-oriented mages as the draft goes along. They may be trying to force Dignitas back into that siege-style comp that they didn't seem as effective on.
And talking about main, traditionally, when we are talking Tomb of the Spider Queen, we are looking then again at a potential Gul'dan. Kel'Thas, other great picks for him that he would play on this battleground. And that's something we could even see targeted in bans. But for me personally, one of the things to worry about is still, after what we've seen at the Western Clash and during the HGC season, Stitches.
Stitches and Toronto have typically been the second and third pickup when Dignitas does move into it on this battleground. They are grabbing a Nubrek and Malfurion here. Instead, getting control, handle those mages, and then Malfurion, the standard support that we see Dig run very often.
That's more traditional now, the Nubarak with the flexibility. Cocoon is such an amazing tool in general. Even if your opponent picks a Stitches, let's say, Cocoon alone allows you to just like dive in, get the stun, cocoon someone, try to keep the target alive until the supports close in, and then try and turn the fight. So at this point you have to really ask yourself, do we still get value out of a potential Stitches pick, yes or no?
Every time that we've seen a Nubrek picked up from Dignitas, Team Liquid answers with a second ban on Leoric. Is there any crazy synergies that we're missing out on here?
It's mostly just the fact that Leoric on this map is so effective at everything you want to do. He has good wave clear, he controls the turn-in area as well. He's not too afraid of being picked off, or even if he is, normally a team has to commit a lot of resources to kill him, and he's back faster than normal. His globe stacking quest or his fealty unto death get more value on this this map than other maps. This is an overall solid choice, and we do see a hover coming on Kel'Thas. Team Liquid continuing to target out the kill-oriented aggression and focusing on Mene here in their draft strategy. Also leading more towards a possible Nazeebo for the late game, as Dignitas is not committed to a particular comp yet with their draft. They just have 3 solid overall heroes. Liquid is looking to force them into a standard or a siege-oriented comp right now and avoid the early game pressure that they struggled with in the first game.
And Liquid basically is saying here, either they take Gul'dan or they're okay with the Gul'dan over the Kel'Thas. So they of course know what Mene could fall back to. There's always other heroes that you can branch out into, we talked about this, but it's a very high chance that Gul'dan is going to make an appearance here. And it's actually interesting to see that he is so low at this point in priority, considering what we've seen throughout the season. Up to a first ban, if not then the first pick usually, together with Rayman and Nubarak. So right now really dropping in that priority. But I guess with Nazeebo, Gul'dan, those are still 2 heroes that we have to watch out for during the draft.
Yeah, Mene is still an incredible Gul'dan player. However, we've seen that Liquid is clearly just opting to take away any option Dignitas has to hit him with those 100-0 kill comps, and continuing to target Mene with the bans and the picks.
Yeah, his top 3 mages have been taken out here. Now, of course, it's Mene. He can play other heroes if need be, but they have taken out the burst that you guys are talking about, the lockdown that Kel'Thas brings out, and then Gul'dan's sheer effectiveness on this battleground. Now it's Li Ming, who's kind of an option. Li Ming's not really one that you want to move into. There's also the Vala. We've seen that in the past. And this was way back in the day, but we have seen Zul'jin.
I could also see Mene would love to bring Jaina back.
Yeah?
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh,
You know,
Jaina life.
You know who else is still available in this draft? Zeratul.
Yeah?
Yeah?
True.
Zeratul Jaina, Wombo combo life.
A classic combo.
Gets burned out by Tyrael Sanctification, but if anyone was willing to pull it off, Dignitas can do so.
I have seen Mene... Oh. You guys see the Leoric coming in. I have seen Mene land some very patient rings in the past where it didn't appear that Jaina was a great pick for their comp, and he ended up floating around the peripheral of a fight for like 40 seconds and coming in with an unexpected clutch ring at the end. Opting for the Li Ming here. So Li Ming, definitely not the kind of kill pressure that Team Liquid should be afraid of early. However, the fact that she can take Power Hungry on this map and have an endless supply of globes, her damage does tend to whittle down health pools and buildings pretty effectively on this map. Although Team Liquid, afraid of the 100-0 way more than that kind of poke damage, I think should be fine with this pickup.
And now a last pick on the side of Team Liquid, already with the Tigers and the Gul'dan, and we have Alarak for our bot lane.
So happy to see this instead of a Nazeebo pick.
Yeah.
Liquid noticing that they did a little bit better when they didn't sacrifice all of the early game and opting to stay strong there with that Alarak pickup.
Also, let's be honest, triple backline would not have happened here. We're not in Hero League.
I don't know, man. I've seen Nazeebo way too much lately to have any confidence in...
It's scary how much you're like,
Okay.
is Nazeebo picking up or not?
Jokes aside for a second, do you really think that in North America, for example, a Nazeebo pick with that setup, you having Tigers and Gul'dan already, would be an option even?
It could be an option simply because you have so much stall and wave clear with the Gul'dan and then the Odin. If it teams are committing as hard to the Nazeebo stall comps as they have been recently, normally, yes, that would be a ridiculous comp, but we've seen Nazeebo thrown into comps you wouldn't expect constantly over the last week.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, we do have the Alarak, which means we get to see Darkmok bringing out the combos, which is pretty darn exciting. Every time we get to see Darkmok on an Alarak, I know we get certain highlights that we get pretty proud to watch of. So let's go ahead and get this started, man. Tomb of the Spider Queen, Darkmok on Alarak, Team Liquid versus Dignitas. We're all tied up. Who will take the lead?
Tomb of the Spider Queen is the third map in the series. The series is tied. Team Liquid going up against Dignitas. And to the left side of Tomb, we have Hazobs on Taika, Splendor on Rega, Blumby on Tyrael, Nurok on Gul'dan, and last but not least for the Germans, it is Darkmok on Alarak.
Team Dignitas on the right side. Bakery will be playing Malfurion, JPL on the Anubarak, Snitch on Greymane, Zelia will be playing Leoric, and Mane will be on Li Ming.
Mane got targeted hard in the last draft. They picked away the Gul'dan, they banned out Kel'Thas, another big option for him, and even his his Chromie got taken away from him. So at this point, Liquid, they have a bit of momentum going for themselves after the victory on Sky. Now, early aggression from Dignitas and very nice zoning by Zelia, delaying the rotation from Team Liquid, and this gives them an early tower. Dignitas with a good start here.
I like that entire setup. The scouting drone in the bush, Zelia on the top right to slow down anything if he had to. He could sacrifice his life in case he ran into somebody, and Dignitas committed hard to that turret.
It was perfect. I really liked it. Good zoning, making sure that Liquid either had to take a fight they were not quite willing to take yet, especially with Gul'dan up at the top. They had to rotate around the long way, and that nets Dignitas in tower.
Let's talk about that tower. Why is it so important to be killed off? First off, you've taken out a tower that gives you experience. You get a slight lead in the early game, but you also give your laner a very strong power tool. It's much harder to sit underneath your towers when you don't have double the ammo shots to burn through a wave. So eventually that bottom lane, if an advantage comes in for Leoric, it can snowball heavily. And look how Team Liquid had to respond. They put both Tychus and Rhaegar in the bottom lane just to deal with Leoric pressure, and they'll rotate when need be.
Yep, they are going to make... Oh, first of all, Splendor is someone they have to watch out for, but JPL is the one to dive first. So I was just about to say, they need to make rotations work towards the bot lane a bit more often, just when they see the pressure unfold. But that's something Dignitas even anticipated and tried to interrupt. It backfired though. Since Anubarak was the one falling, there was not enough damage to take Rhaegar down. Let's talk about that for a second. What have we seen Dignitas do? They tried to go for those quick bursts where they eliminate a target within seconds. That was what Liquid targeted in the draft, trying to take these tools away. And so far it has worked. They saved Rhaegar, and they could get the counter kill because of it. But now Splendor a bit too deep.
Gosh, JPL, wonderful setup, great patience, and it's netting one kill, maybe a second here as Hasselwab is getting low on health. He does fall. Did you see JPL? He was sitting in the corner waiting the entire time, waiting for the overcommit to be punished, dived in and got splintered.
And Liquid got way too confident there. After Malfurion threw down the root and the heroes in the back got trapped by it, they should have retreated. They didn't. They followed it up even more. And that was just, it was them asking to be punished.
And the punished they got there, as Dignitas has a nice lead here, about to hit level 5 to 4.5 experience. They've opened up the map, they've turned in some gems here. 25 have already been dropped off, moving up to 38, and they are 12 away from their first Webweaver.
Fealty unto death for Leoric for the sustain at the bot lane. And the turn-ins have happened, and as you just said, 46 gems have been turned in. So at this point, Dignitas is just attempting to make sure they get enough gems to get the first Webweaver wave. Would be a good start and a potential snowball for them. So it needs to be a bit careful with their positioning at the front. But we also have now Liquid with the bigger they are on Tigers. And this is going to put more pressure onto Anubarak and Leoric at that front line to be burned down, especially if Alarak is also top of that, able to hit a combo.
Really good combo, especially with the Corruption that can come out from Gul'dan, and a couple of Fell Flames. The next thing you know, you get hit with a Corruption, 3 beats, and you get burned down by Tychus, and that is a dead warrior. Now, Team Liquid is desperately trying to fight here to stop the turn-in from being too early, but Dignitas is able to sneak it in the top, and they'll have Webweavers pushing in all 3 lanes.
It's not a question of how well you can defend against this. Liquid shouldn't lose too much here. Web Weavers should not give too much value to Dignitas, but if they can take a few structures down, that would already be worth it for them. Just taking that slight lead and work towards an early level 10 and a potential second turn.
Everything Dignitas has done today has really screamed to me that they are just trying to get to 10 first before their opponents and try to get fights from that 10 to 9 level where they're ahead of their opponents. And same is being echoed true here. As Dignitas hits level 7, starts to clear out these walls. These turrets are already down to half health, less so, and they're about to grab them. JPL moves in on Darkmog. There's the root, but he telekinesis away at the last second.
And Mina is completely ignoring the entire fight up to the end. He's just targeting structures over and over again. They have nearly a level lead thanks to this, and only after the wall is gone does Mina attempt to take heroes down. Up to that point, it was all about get experience, get the structures, take those towers down, and they've done so in the middle, at the bottom, and at the top.
The half-level lead they had has now been extended to a full level lead, 8.5 to 7.5. Dignitas floating around the turn-in point, because one of the ways that Team Liquid can come back is to get kills, but also to get turn-in of their own. Dignitas looking for a flight here as they have Blumby locked down. He's low on health. He falls. More members taking damage as Nurok is being dived upon.
Nurok also taken out, and oh my god, Liquid are about to lose Alarak as well. Dignitas is rolling with the momentum here. 5 kills against 1.
He's probably a little happy that all of those mages got banned out. He's able to play Li Ming, and when he gets on Li Ming, it is quite the treat. Hitting perfect orbs there as well as the missiles, securing multiple kills.
Man, it's just a beast. This guy is just popping off on the Li Ming at this point, and he is doing extremely well. The experience lead is insane. This is Tomb, one of the most snowballiest maps we have in the pool, if you can play it right with your turn-ins. And right now, Liquid, they have no option to control these turn-in points, with Dignitas being about to hit level 10. This is, for Liquid, a pretty huge disaster this early in the game. Coming back into this is going to be very difficult.
Quite lethal, actually, here. 10 now hitting. There is enough gems for a turn-in too, if Dignitas elects to move down and get those turn-ins, and they should, as they would love to move into breaking down the forts, and if Team Liquid missteps ever. And if Tomb comes out, an engagement goes out, and we're going to have the fights occurring. It will be Cocoon, once again, for our Nubrak.
So Liquid has only one job at this point. Camp taken as well, perfect timing with the turn-in. Doesn't get better for Dignitas. Liquid needs experience. Try to stay alive, don't lose heroes. Attempt to save as many structures as you can, but do not die. Once you have 10, you can make your move. You have a bit of a window until your opponent hits 13. That's what they need to try and do here. But look at these combos. And Nubarok, Burrow, stun, root on point, and Mena just focusing on that one target. That's what they're trying to do here.
Cocoon has been popped, Splinter is locked down, and Tomb over the wall, Zelia. Calm down. He locks down the Rhaegar, and Dignitas gets the kill.
Dignitas gets the kill and nearly gets the gems, but we had Tyrael move in and grab quite a few of those. But this is exactly what we've been talking about. Look at the situation on the map unfold. Fort in the mid lane down, bot lane, Zelia is starting to take another fort down, and even though Liquid is about to hit 10, they have sacrificed so much on the map for it. It's Team Dignitas show here on map number 3.
Yes, one fort down, a second down in the bottom, a third taking damage and looking to be killed off. Now, Team Liquid is close to 10 just by a smidgen. They're hoping to defend that fort in the top, and they do so with Horrify unlocking and possibly Sanctification. Dignitas retreats.
These Anubarak plays from JPL and the way that Dignitas plays around the aggressive moves with Cocoon are super impressive. On the last map, they could not rely on it, but now they are again in a spot where they just force engagements that are to their advantage, and it looks very strong doing it. Liquid has finally 10. This is the time when they need to make something happen, but it's nearly a 3-level lead that we see for Dignitas. Liquid, they need a good fight, they need a few kills, and Dignitas is not going to make that easy for them.
No, they are not. Now, let's go ahead and check out this replay here. As JPL goes in for the engage, he knocks up Blumby, and watch the Entomb. You're seeing Zelia on the minimap floating around. He'll be underneath here on that Merc camp.
Yeah, and at this point, they're trying to get the stun in. Here comes the Entomb. Splendor has no way of getting out of there. There's no level 10 yet, so Sanctification is not an option.
Did you notice how Bakery actually moved into that Entomb to get locked down too? In case Team Liquid came in to try and help out Rhaegar, he could just rob a Twilight Dream. Such good play from Dignitas here as they continue to be on point with their combos.
Dignitas with a 13 talent.
Oh my!
Liquid is currently getting wrecked. Dignitas is doing so well with this, and Liquid has to play patient, they have to sit back, they have to wait and wait until they are on even talents and then trying to make a play. The big problem with it is that Dignitas, whenever they've been had so far, have just not made any big mistakes. They only take bosses when they know they can, they just got to kill, they know they have a talent lead, they see the heroes on the map, so they just go, try and take boss. They still deny turn-ins with Leoric. Dignitas is playing such a great game today.
Team Liquid answering back, knowing their opponents are on the boss, are going to go for a turn-in, but JPL delays it here, and they can't afford to sit around here and force that turn-in. They can't. Entomb?
There is no way.
That's 23 gems, by the way.
Okay, so they could have done this a bit better with the timing, but it doesn't matter. This is insane. Think about what just happened. Dignitas just took a boss, denied the turn-in, got a kill, and took 24 gems away from the opponent. This is crazy. Team Liquid tried to turn in at the bottom with all members, and it was denied by first Leoric, then Anubarak, then they try to move back. They are already in a bad spot. This is absolutely brutal. Team Liquid is getting crucified at this point.
And more happening here as Nurok gets picked off on the gold down the bottom left, even using Horrify just to survive and does not do so. Team Liquid answering back by clearing the boss on the top and come down to get 13, but they're still a full level away from 13, while Dignitas is half a level away from 16.
This is an execution. Dignitas is taking no prisoners here. They are 3.5 level ahead in the playoffs. In the playoffs of HGC, the match for the mid-season brawl, the Web Weavers are descending again. Liquid, they need a bit of a miracle. And at the pace this is going, Dignitas will hit level 16 before or just around the time Liquid finally has 13, which means again that Liquid is going to be behind the talent. And how do you force a fight with the tools you have there?
I don't know, man. Dignitas seems to have it all figured out, and Team Liquid needs to figure it out. They need to get 13, and they need to defend. You're probably going to have to lose a keep here, honestly. You're going to be a spot where you're so far behind that getting into a fight would not be in your favor, but clearing out the Web Weavers do give you some experience. The Entomb comes out, solid dodge so far.
That was a big one. Dodging the Entomb, that was a first step. Can they somehow do this? 13 to 16, the talent lead. Sankt already on the ground early. Web Weaver at the ball plane, pushing for the keep. Over here in the middle, it looks like we're seeing Dignitas going in again, but Cocoon is on cooldown.
Darkmog does bring out silence. They are hitting upon Leoric. He gets low on health. They defend the keep in the middle, but they have to decide they either fight now or run to the bottom lane. They decide to go to the bottom lane as the Web Weaver was applying pressure to the keep.
Tigers with the defense, the rest in the middle, posturing around. Zelia looking, 30 seconds for Entomb. Gets the drain in, but Bloomby jumps back. They hold on to the keep. Solid defense by Liquid, but they're still a talent and 3 levels behind, and this keep is losing HP rapidly.
Even if they still hold this, it's good for them. They don't have to worry about dealing with that catapult pressure. Even though it's in the middle, it's usually pretty easy to contain. Just keeping this keep around is solid for them. Now, the poke keeps coming out. Dignitas, after using the Entomb as well as Cocoon, do pull back, but Cocoon is back in 3 seconds.
They will have to sacrifice it, because I don't think he can hold on to this. Not with all the poke coming out. Just let it go. You're going to lose it anyways. The worst case scenario would be losing heroes with it because you move out a bit too far. So they sacrifice the keep, and Dignitas, they are just applying more and more pressure. They move straight to the bot lane. At some point, Team Liquid will have to fight a fight they don't want to fight. With a talent disadvantage, they have to take it eventually.
At some point, they will certainly have to do so. Entomb is out on the Alarak. The Splendor wanted to turn around and do the Ancestral Healing, but he gets cocooned, and Alarak is down.
Alarak down, Cocoon is finally over. Maybe a counter kill, JPL.
He's low on health. Splendor wanting to move in. He does escape, but Zelia last year will Wraith walk away.
Zelia on the move back, Splendor with a bite and a shield. Lightning Shield tries to go for the kill, doesn't get it, gets drained and dropped.
Mane working on the combos, gets out a W and a Q. Sanctification being used, but here comes the Nubrak as he burrows in. JPL does stay alive, but we all see Nurok and Hasuups fall.
Gul'dan down, we're seeing Tigers die. JPL still there, they move in once more. Dignitas is continuing what they started. 14 kills against 2, and these guys just don't know when and how to stop.
In the words of Caldor and Elsa, let this keep go. We're going to see Darkmok retreat for now. 4 more members for Team Liquid will be spawning, but they are down to 1 solo keep and 1 core.
Yeah, this is... I feel bad watching this for Team Liquid. I honestly feel bad.
There is something that can happen here. 1 more level 16 happens, and this is the only time that Team Liquid will be on even footing. Dignitas should be around 19 and a quarter, but Team Liquid can make something happen. The question is, will Dignitas give them the opportunity? So far, every time Dignitas has been close or even on a fight, they do a solid job of retreating.
You know, when you started that sentence, there's something that can happen. I was more looking for you to say something, okay, maybe if Dignitas goes for a smoke for 5 minutes, that could help them come back. I just don't see it, but you're right. If they win a fight, maybe. But the pace this is going with, how Dignitas is playing, with these drafts and them being this far behind, I don't see it. If Team Liquid can make it happen, it would be amazing. It's all the lanes that are pressuring. The problem that I have with this is that Dignitas at this point doesn't even have to be aggressive anymore. They can now fall back into complete macro style.
Dignitas did mess up there, though. They used 3 heroics and got nothing effectively out of it, giving Team Liquid a chance to turn in and get towards 16 before Cocoon is back.
This is the best. You're absolutely right that this is the best time to make a play. But I'm very worried because they haven't taken a fort yet, and 2 of the keeps are down. So Dignitas can even play a macro style. They don't even have to fight big fights anymore, especially since they are heading towards 20. They can just sit there, even if they lose now. Let's say they lose 2 forts with this, and Team Liquid closes the gap a bit. It's very unlikely that Dignitas is going... well, it's very likely that Dignitas is going to hit 20 way before Liquid. Liquid needs to play out of their mind right now, and here comes Dignitas once again.
They're committed here. The Curse Bolt coming out on Hasuups. He's low on health, but no heals being up. He's able to get back to Sanctification, but the Ancestor healing misses. It connects with Blumby, and Hasuups is going to be forfeited.
Oh god, that's the 2nd kill. Rega down, Alarak dead. It's a triple, and that should be game. Splendor even. Everything just goes wrong. Everything that could possibly go wrong for Liquid goes wrong. They finally have an engage where they don't lose a hero immediately, and then it's a misclick with Rega's ult. Hits instead of Odin. Hits Tyrael, and this is just the final point to a game that did not go Team Liquid's way. Dignitas, excellent play. Exceptional performance here on the 3rd map, taking down Liquid and taking the lead in the series.
Dignitas with solid play throughout the entire game and finishing out strong. Will take a lead 2-1. Coffin, Dignitas just being aggressive once again. It keeps paying off.
That game was so mentally damaging to Team Liquid.
Yeah.
They saw from their first loss that they could look at that and say, hey, that was a draft mistake. We gave up too much in the early game. We just couldn't do anything about the kill pressure. This game, they clearly had a plan in the draft. They thought, if we can remove Mane from those 100-0 burst mages, get ourselves a strong early game, we're not going to be subject to that kind of dominance we faced in game 1, and we'll be able to ride it out, at least maybe have an advantage, maybe stay even in the early game, and that's what they're afraid of Dignitas. They're afraid of Dignitas' early game, and they're focusing on getting through that in the draft. However, what happened instead is that in a game that had no draft advantage in the early game to Dignitas, they just bodied them non-stop, broke out almost a 2-level lead pre-10 against Alarak and Gul'dan. It's got to be confidence-shattering.
Then again, if you're honest about it, if you look at it rationally, I feel where it really turned against them was when they dove way too hard for that potential kill between the mid and the bot lane, and all of a sudden they lost 3 heroes on the retreat, and that snowballed everything. All of a sudden, the walls fell. Was experience in favor of Dignitas. They had the triple kill, they had the position on the map, they got a turn in nearly at level 10 after they took the structures down, and that's something that Liquid never recovered from. It was just a beatdown from that point on, but if Liquid, who looked good at the very, very beginning of the game, if they can just not get greedy for that potential kill,
themselves,
yeah, and just play to the strength, then I feel they have a chance there. But once that happened, Dignitas just allowed nothing. It was perfect.
Well, Kaufman has a treat for you guys. We have a replay. We can look at Team Liquid and Dignitas and see where this dominance is really coming from.
Much like Kaldor said, this is where it all finishes going downhill. So in this situation, when you've been getting dumpstered all game like Liquid has, you see this situation where everybody's low and you think finally a chance to go in. However, what you see here is an abundance of greed with Tyrael chasing 2 people on the top, nobody securing that Leoric kill. The fact that Leo stayed at 10% with a life drain going instead of getting that Leo kill first, then focusing on others, caused this entire thing to blow up on them when they couldn't secure the Leo kill, and one kill after another snowballed it in favor of Dignitas. Mene saying, or basically just showing the futility of attempting to ban him out with amazing resets, diving in with the E to get the reset back to safety at low health, and then continuing to poke reset after reset. Game was over from that point.
Team Liquid, sadly not getting those kills there. Missing out. It seems like that trust that you were talking about in the interview earlier, Kaldor, just not quite there all the way, especially when you bring out the replay and show everyone being on different targets. Team Liquid just needs to have a clear mind here and just really try to be on point. If they are, they seem to be in a great spot like we saw in game number 2, but after that Rhaegar in game number 3 and killing the bottom right corner, you can see them being off their game.
Yeah, that wasn't even the moment that I personally was talking about. I think we had 2 series like that. So there was one where you just pointed out being on different targets there was an issue. For me personally, it was even earlier when we were before level 10, when we had them chasing towards the middle, the root in the back, and then Tyrael who jumped in, those kills. I feel at this point they're already a talent down, they're already off. I think they tilted, personally. But yeah, you said it earlier, it's mentally damaging. So them just recovering from that is going to be rough. And I mean, they have Battleground choice now, so that's the big plus for them. They can go into the comfort zone, can say we play a map.
Speaking of Battleground, let's actually get it started here. We're not going to go to a break. Cool. We're going to keep the playoffs going. Game number 4. It's going to be Towers of Doom. Dignitas getting the choice.
Yeah, actually, I completely had a brain fart. They of course take the first pick, and therefore Dignitas has the map choice. That was
You're right.
Wait,
You're doing it right. Team Liquid
took first pick. The last one was Liquid's Dignitas map choice, right?
It's not
so
your
yeah,
fault.
I'm getting there.
We didn't get our little break.
Yeah.